So welcome to this video. Today we're going to be doing an interview with Rob PrimeHylian talking about YouTube and stuff. Basically, I don't know if many of you guys remember, but I did a stream. Well, it wasn't my stream. It was Stapecape's stream. Stapecape invited me on his stream. Shout out to Stapecape, really good variety streamer. And we had a really cool conversation about YouTube and stuff with my friend Mitch, Jack, and Perry. And after that, I was like, this is really cool. I feel like not a lot of people like are doing this like super often, like talking about YouTube and stuff, and what goes on like behind the scenes of like over like years. Because I know one thing we'll get into with Rob is he's been doing this for like as long as I have, like dating like fucking years back. So I'm really excited about our conversation. Yeah. But yeah, so let's just get into it. I'll just allow you to introduce yourself to chat, and like let's just start with there. Like what is your name?
Sure.
What is your name? And like what do you do on YouTube currently?
Dope. Hey everybody, my name is Rob. I run a channel called PrimeHylian, which has been around a couple of days now. It's been there. There's a couple of videos on it now.
Couple days.
Yeah, it's been there a hot minute.
Yeah.
I make like game analysis videos. I primarily game design, but I wouldn't limit myself to just those because I also like just maybe looking at story aspects and such too, but it's primarily like mechanics level design and such like that. Used to do more comedic stuff and like game reviews and game reviews and all that, but as my interests changed, so did my content.
Yeah.
So,
We'll
yeah.
talk about that for sure. Yeah, so that's cool. I mean, I guess we'll start with that. We can start there because I want this to kind of be like I have questions planned, but I definitely want it to be like a very like free flowing conversation. So
Yeah, dude.
well, let's start here actually. Like, what got you into making YouTube stuff? Like, starting from when you started PrimeHylian, like I know for a lot of people, like myself included currently, like I had a channel previously. So is this your first channel on YouTube, or like what got you into YouTube in
Yeah.
that way?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's no way is my first channel. That's like my fourth or fifth
Oh,
one.
yeah. Okay.
I will not be sharing the other ones though.
That's totally okay. I feel the same fucking way as you, dude.
Yeah,
I get it.
I think I've always had an interest in making stuff, like dating back to when I was like 8 or 9, making stop motion Lego films with like my mom's camera and stuff.
Okay,
and,
we're getting
like,
some lore.
using like Windows Movie Maker, if anyone remembers that, like way
Oh,
back
God.
when.
I think I used that once. I think I used that once, and it was just like I couldn't even like get anything to work. Like I was so lost.
You
in
have
there.
you have a audio timeline and a video timeline, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like none of that, no multi-channels or anything. Yeah, it was XP as well. It wasn't like Windows 7 or anything.
Oh my goodness.
So this is ancient.
Yeah.
But yeah, it dates back quite a while. After a while, you start to dabble with more or complex in quotations editing. Like I really wanted to talk about games and such. I also at one point with my friend did like a little Let's Play series where we recorded the TV with the camera.
Classic.
The classic.
Yeah.
The classic, yeah. But yeah, things always directed, I guess, towards where my channel is now, because I always had an interest in creating things with video and effects and such like that. And as it went from like Movie Maker to like Sony Vegas at some point, and I went from just like random top 10s with no commentary to like my first like review videos or like top 10 lists when I was like 16 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd say the passion for making stuff's always been there, but yeah, I guess that's a bit of history.
Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, I've like I'm not as like in depth as you have, but like I started like a while ago, and I came in like just I knew like what I wanted to make, and I was inspired by like particular creators. So I wanted to ask you that too. As far as like starting with PrimeHylian, like the start of this era, like I was looking back through like some of your old stuff and like noticed that like you had like kind of like a goofy style, which is like par for the course back in like what, like 2014 when we like first started and shit. So was there like any like particular creators that like inspired you to like take up that style, or like what kind of stuff were you watching that informed you to do what you do?
That's a great question. Yeah, like you said, it's par for the course to make videos like of the times, you know.
Yeah.
And back then I was watching the like Normal Boots and Hidden Block crew like a lot, like Kedicris, Brutal Moose, you know, Space Hamster, Jimmy Wetzel back when he was called like Nintendo Fan for the Win. Like those are the ancient days.
Yes,
but that was
dude.
just dude, old school. And that was just the content I absorbed, and I was really passionate about. So I'm like, this is kind of what I want to do. And it was a few years after I was like started watching those kind of videos that I actually decided to make a channel, in which I made the channel like a year before I actually had the courage to actually put anything up on it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's kind of similar to me too. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, as times have changed and my interests have changed, I don't really watch those kind of videos anymore, with the odd exception. Like some channels I still follow and such, but it's like it's mostly, you know, like game design, video essays, and stuff like that, which is where, which is always, I think I've always had an interest for that kind of stuff though, because even back in those old comedic-based videos, some of them had those like little sprinklings of game design and such like that. So I don't know. I kind of realized at one point, like, okay, I think analysis is where my strengths are at. I'm not funny enough to do this properly.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I can see that like looking at your channel, because I actually, I don't know if you know this, but like I have like known of your channel for fucking ages, like despite us like,
really?
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember, like I'm not gonna go into it because I just have like fucking just cut off that part of my past from like what I do now, but like I don't know if you remember my old name or anything, or probably not, but yeah, I mean, I think we just like interacted on Twitter like a few times, and I like watched your videos. And I'll get into that, but yeah, I definitely feel you, like especially I mean, your interests just kind of change over time. I've definitely experienced that too, because and a lot of those guys that you say you're influenced by, like a lot of them just like either don't, especially the hidden block guys, like a lot of them don't really make the same stuff, or just like haven't really been very active on YouTube in quite some time. So
Totally, yeah. It's like, I feel like everyone's content changes over time, especially from when they start out to like where they are a few years later and such. So it's definitely the same for them too.
Yeah, it's cool. I think we've had like a similar arc, because you know, I don't want this to be talk about me, but I just like I wanted to talk to you first, because we were talking in my stream about like projects and stuff like that, and I'm just like, dude, I just feel like I sneakily have so much in common with you as far as like creating goes, and we started like around the same time and stuff. So I was like, dude, let's just do a fucking interview. So
let's just fucking talk about it. Hell yeah, dude.
Here's another thing I wanted to ask you, and I feel like you might have like answered this, but I was gonna ask if you had like a background in video, which you answered, but also graphic design, because I was looking at your like portfolio stuff that you have linked on your Twitter, and I'm like, dude, your fucking design shit is like really good. So like,
oh, cheers, dude.
Yeah, like do you have like a educational background in that, or is it just kind of like like video too, or is it just kind of like stuff that you've picked up on over time?
Yeah, honestly, all self-taught stuff because of YouTube. Like,
That's
be fully
impressive.
honest with that.
That's really impressive.
Cheers, dude. But like, yeah. Well, my mum was like a photographer, and she used Photoshop a lot, so like I kind of like picked up a bit from her, and like just loved playing around, making like thumbnails, like using the bevel effect on text and being like, whoa, look at this, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of it stems from YouTube though. That's where I could source all of my learnings from, like video or motion graphics or like graphic design and such,
Mm-hmm.
which I've used a lot in other things like at uni or like in my work and such. But like I guess like it stems from my interest in content creation or whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Do you think like is this something you know, I mean a lot of people as far as YouTube goes, it's kind of like you know, YouTube when you're like trying to grow, like it shouldn't really be like your main thing. Do you have like aspirations to do like media production like outside of YouTube, or cuz I saw like I don't know if this is like fully updated, but it said that you're a student. um I wasn't really
Oh yeah, I need
familiar
to update that, eh?
with your educational background, but yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so I just finished my studies at uni. I haven't
Oh,
graduated
sweet.
yet because the uni's weird about that and I have to do it in December, but like
Oh, weird.
yeah, yeah, for some reason. Um yeah, so I studied a Bachelor of Management Studies for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so graduated with strategy and marketing as my majors with honors. And so it was kind of similar to video making, I suppose, but like yeah, quite different in terms of the things I'm studying versus what I'm doing on my channel,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Yeah.
That's cool. I let me know if you agree with this. I've struggled to want to go into video production as my job
Mm,
because uh, I've kind of had like good and bad experiences like on that like YouTube hustle and shit. So
yeah.
I'm kind of the person that is like very much if I'm like trying to force myself to do something like through school or like work, then it just I just start to like hate it. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about that? Like as far as like would you like be open to the idea of working in that field, like even though it may necessarily not line up with your major or your bachelor?
Yeah. So it all it stems back to when I had a conversation with my parents without, because I wanted to go to like a school for like design and motion graphics, and back in like 2016, where I'm like, all I'm thinking about is like video games and YouTube and stuff, and they're like, um, that's cool, but we'd be more comfortable if you did something which had like a more guaranteed job like lined up after it.
Yeah, like more practical
And
value.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I am glad they did quite a bit, because not only because of like the job aspect, but because of a lot of things. And like you said, like yeah, I think it's really good to separate those two things, because even though like my stuff in marketing does involve a lot of skills I've picked up, like with YouTube, like quite a few, I'm actually surprised how much how similar they are. It's still different enough where it doesn't become like too overbearing like altogether.
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, so that's why I probably couldn't go into any like media field unless it was like very different to the stuff I make, like um, filmmaking, but like a very distinct role that isn't like exactly what I do at home.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
um, or yeah, because I do think it's important to have like separate parts of your life like be distinct, and crossovers can be good, but like it can also be a bit dangerous. Like it's like also comparable to like a work-life balance and such. Like
For
if you,
sure.
it's
Yeah.
like if I, when you take work home, it can be like really stressful. And so like if
Mm-hmm.
your passion is really like very well morphed into like your career, man, that can get draining. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually have an example of this, is when I used to do freelance editing, and
Mm-hmm.
like that was a rough.
I would love to talk about that actually
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
let's do
saw
it.
that you because like I said I was looking at your portfolio and you said that you've like done editing for like multi-million like follower channels like on YouTube.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Oh,
Nice.
that was an interesting time. Yeah.
Yeah. I've
um.
thought about getting into freelance, but and I've had like a couple opportunities, but been very hesitant on it. So like, I would love to hear like your experience like going through that.
Yeah, yeah. So this is back in 2017, still studying and like looking for a summer job and stuff. And I'm like, oh, my friends kind of connected me with someone who's like looking for an editor. I'm like, oh, sweet, I can do this. And it was, I'm glad I did it, but it was not a pleasant experience, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Like, I was, and this even ties into the previous question. I was so exhausted from editing all the time because the rates were really low.
yeah.
And when you're starting out, you spend a lot more time before you get like a consistent workflow.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'd spend a lot of time editing and just be like, I don't want to make any videos. Like I've done
Ah,
this like all
yeah.
day or whatever,
You
and
don't
it's
have any
starting to
more
feel like a
energy to
bit.
make your own stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
kind of why I'm kind of enjoying working somewhere where it's like it's distinct from video making, where I'm like I haven't been um doing the same thing all day and being like, oh, I don't want to make any videos, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's what's really cool about like the stuff that we kind of make, like scripted content, whether it's like video games or like any kind of like media. Because one thing that I love about making videos is exactly the opposite of what you experience with freelance editing, and it's that
Mm-hmm,
you get to flex like all your creative muscles. You get to do writing, you get to work with audio, you get to work with video editing, maybe motion graphics if you're into that.
mm-hmm.
Like I feel that like if I was just editing all the time, like it just reminds me back to when I worked in the fucking grocery store and I was just the cashier and I couldn't move. I'm just stuck in this one
Yeah,
claustrophobic position doing the same fucking thing over and over again, and it just burns you out. It fucking burns you out. So
totally. Yeah, yeah.
God,
And like, yeah.
I'm reliving some traumatic
The
memories.
memories are coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember for my first freelance video, I did an all-nighter because they were like, "Oh, so we need it by this day." And like it took way longer than I expected. And it was for like 30 fucking US dollars or whatever.
Wait,
So,
how much video? Like what
it
was the
was like
length?
9 or 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
they
that's
eventually
tough.
it turned into it they bumped it up to 40 soon, but even then that's not much at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's yeah. And like the worst part I think was the fact that they didn't even care about the quality much at all. Like they would all right, we're getting into some details here. So this was like one of those huge like text to speech Minecraft channels or whatever. And I remember because like back in those days it was like we need to hit the 10-minute mark. That's fucking all that matters or whatever. And
Uh-huh.
some of like the voiceover things they would send me would be like 9 minutes or whatever. I'm like, there's not enough material to make 10 minutes. And they're like, oh, just add some extra stuff in the text and like the of text to speech thing and just add it in. I'm like, are you serious? Are you joking me? Or like, oh, do an slightly extra
Oh
long
man.
outro. I'm like, it hurt me inside, but I'm like, I gotta pay the bill.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories of like people just like they're just like, all right, I need this video done by this time. Here's the audio, and like
Yeah.
maybe the video footage even like it's just crazy to not even provide like your like video like capture
Yeah.
like
Totally. Yeah.
some of the
I also
expectations are
yeah.
insane.
Absolutely crazy. So there was this one manager, I did two channels for him, almost like the Minecraft stuff. And then another one was one of those like a pop culture trendy top 5, top 10 kind of channels where it's just like they put on photos and there's like the narration.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was the same kind of thing where it's like, just that one was slightly better than the Minecraft one because it wasn't the text to speech got like grating on the ears after a while.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
It's
But
terrible.
like,
It's hard enough
yeah.
listening to yourself like over and over
Yeah.
again, and then listening to text to speech, dude. God, it's gonna be grating.
Yeah. Yeah, but the worst part was definitely the lack of passion, and like, cause one time the voice actor for the other channel, like, I downloaded the recording and it was like 35 minutes or so, and I
Mm-hmm.
looked through and he just sent over the recording, it didn't edit it at all or whatever. I'm like, I'm like, this is gonna take me an extra 2 hours to trim this down before I can even edit it. And I was trying to
Oh
explain to my
man.
manager like, this isn't part of my job. And he's like, oh, I don't see how it'll take you 2 hours. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this. And he
I
like,
mean, if you care, like it might take like 2 hours.
exactly,
Gosh,
yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah, I'm glad I talked to my friend Corey about it, who was also he studied audio engineering or whatever, and he's like,
Hmm.
bro, what the fuck? No, you shouldn't be doing that shit as an editor.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, from what I understand, it seems like a lot of people who or people that are kind of responsible about it will usually have like one person like do the audio, like that's their job, and then send it over to the video editor and stuff like that. It's a lot
yeah,
to ask of one person. I mean, it's why, especially depending on the type of video, it's like why the shit takes like so long to do. Like, I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Especially if that person's getting like 40 US for the whole
God,
thing as well.
yeah, man, that is not fucking worth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, but like I did get some good skills out of it, like a consistent workflow and like understanding a bit about freelance because I did
Mhm.
a bit more, but in terms of like graphic design and then like writing, which I enjoyed the most and I still do a bit today.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was another chapter as well. It's like all the freelance commissions because I did it for editing, then graphic design, a little bit of voiceover work, and then like a bunch of writing and stuff.
Mhm. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So let's shift back to your content, because I want to talk about. Well, I'll start by saying I remember the first video that I watched that I remember watching of yours was your World Within Xenoblade Chronicles X,
Oh
because
yeah, that one. That's how a lot of people found my channel.
yeah, I was playing that game at the time. That game is just not a Steven game. It is very like Eastern, like RPG, like open world game.
Totally.
Very weird game,
Absolutely.
especially in comparison. I haven't played the original Xenoblade Chronicles, but it seems like very different. Like because the original
Yeah.
games like focus on like the story and stuff.
Yeah,
But
that one's definitely focused more on gameplay.
yeah,
But like it's because of that they're quite distinct, and that's why I like them for different reasons, you know?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm.
one thing I noticed going along the lines of that is like back that I thought that video was really cool. I really liked how you put an emphasis on like showcasing the world with your like footage and stuff, and like
Mm.
I love like the slow pans, like the aesthetic pans and all that shit. But one thing that I wanted to talk about is like cuz when I like look at your channel, like it's you used to have it set up where you had like specific shows. Like you had like the something within
Oh
this,
yeah.
and then you had like thoughts on whatever particular thing. And then I noticed over time you kind of have like adopted like a different approach as far as like making more like general stuff and not like being like tied down to like a format. Like can you talk about what it was like to start with like maybe some strict formats, and then like why you chose to do that, and like go into like how you've like started to approach making videos like nowadays?
Mm. Mm. That's a really good question actually, yeah. Because back in like early days I was like when you don't know how to approach video making, or when you don't have experience, or like a common way people approach this is like I am gonna have this structure and I'm gonna stick to it, or like this is how I'm gonna write my videos, or this is the show. And because it was also kind of cool, like oh I've created this show with branding and stuff like that and whatnot. But I think it lacked a bit of vision because after pretty shortly you get weighed down by those restrictions, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's a bit of a trap because it's like I've talked with my a couple of friends about this all the time, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna have my main videos and I'm gonna have a shorter show in between them or whatever, which was like common at the time. Not a good. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. Like, and because like it created a conflict of interest with my priorities and like, oh, what do I talk about? Even though I stuck to them for a little bit, it was still like it became really restrictive, and I became pretty quickly more of a chore. For some more than others. Like my thoughts on series back in the day was something else. It was vague enough where I can kind of conform it to whatever I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Um, but like I had one show which I was like, okay, this is gonna be for just like serious reviews, me talking to a camera. Fucking like no one watched it. I'm like, I'm never doing this again. It was so annoying to make, and it's like it's not even
Oh
worth
man.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the mindset back then. It's like after
Mm-hmm.
a while, I've realized like you don't need to conform to a certain like structure,
Mm-hmm.
or like even just informal structures are fine. You know, you don't need specific branding and a show and consistency. It's like just it's just
Yeah.
it's YouTube, man.
Yeah, for sure. For YouTube especially, like, yeah, that's definitely something I've thought about. I think it's just healthier too, like, because then, I mean, we talked about this, like the whole work-life balance. I think maybe when you when you add like a ton of structure and restrictions, then it starts to feel more like work and stuff, and that's just like when something you're doing on your own time for free starts to feel like
Yeah.
work, then you just like it's tough. It's tough. Yo, Luke, thanks for the Prime sub.
Yo,
I
we got
thought
subs.
I thought I had my alerts off, but that is
Yo,
interesting.
can we
I
get
heard the
some
sound.
Wizard smiles for the subscription, please?
Yes, dude. Give me the fucking Wizard Pogs. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry about that. But
All good. All good.
yeah, I had the sound pop up, and I'm like, that's weird. I didn't know that was gonna come up. But yeah, we're like the whole work-life balance thing. I think it's healthier because I mean, one thing that I've really liked is, just whatever idea I feel like the most passionate about, that is just what I'm working on, and there's a balance to that because I think it's hard when videos take a long time and you're like, well, you started working on something and then you get an idea for something else, and then maybe you wanna go on to that. Barry, thanks for the sub, appreciate it. But
Just so you get subs, you just pretend like, oh, I'm not supposed to do
pretend
this.
it's like not supposed to come up. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. But yeah, I think just to cap off that thought, I think it's healthy to just like be able to like move between like whatever you want.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about like specifically the YouTube and like grind aspect of it. So, I feel like YouTube is the kind of thing where a lot of people see it and they think, "Oh, dude, I could do this," and it's very front facing with like these big YouTubers, especially on the more like normie side, like outside of gaming, like vlogging and shit. Like it's very appealing.
Totally.
The lifestyle is very appealing and shit like that. So a lot of people see it and they're like, "Oh, dude, I'm funny. I'm slightly funny. I can
I'm
make
the funniest person in my friend group.
Exactly. Like I could do this shit. Like fuck it, I'll learn this shit." Now
But they're like, yeah, they try and vlog like Casey Neistat or whatever, and they realize, oh, my days, every day isn't actually that exciting to put on a video.
Yeah. And so a lot of people, I think, probably start off that way, and they either realize that they like it enough to keep going, or they're like, this is way too much work than I was anticipating. So for me, I found it difficult to I'll say this full stop. I found it difficult to stay motivated to make YouTube videos if there isn't the idea of like, oh, I can get something in return for this later. Like there's the chance that my channel could blow up and it could be my career. And for me, I find that very motivating. I don't think there's any shame in being financially motivated in that way. So I was curious if you felt the same way. Like, did you start? You said you've been making videos for a long time, so I'm sure that started from a place where you just wanted to do it and it was fun for you. But has your motivation ever shifted to like trying to make it big, and like what was the process like going through that? Like let's start off with like how if you ever came to that point, and like what was that thought process for you?
Yeah, that's like, it's an interesting thing to grapple with as like a creator, right? Because it's like a lot of people tell you don't focus on making it big. Don't focus on succeeding, because there's a high percentage of people who that just never happens to, and there is a seed of truth in that as well. But I also feel like, it's okay to strive for that, but it's like, don't expect that, That's and that's something I think I've wrestled with a bit over like the past like 5 or 6 years or whatever. Because at first I was like, I just want to make videos and such, but there was always the idea that, oh, this, like, it'd be so cool to do this as like a job, or like all these other cool YouTubers I watch and such like that. And I think I did over the course of my channel, I've done like a 360 with it. Because at one point I was like, yeah, I want to work hard on this for a long time and like see this succeed. Not because it's like I want to be like famous or whatever. I just want to make videos because I enjoy doing that, and being able to, spend more time on them would be really cool. And there was a certain point where, like, I think like all the doom and gloom about AdSense and like the adpocalypse or whatever. There was at one point where I'm like, nah, I don't want to do this for a job. I just do it on the side because I enjoy it. And which I still kind of feel like that, unless like something extraordinary happened. Though, but like over the past couple years, I've wanted to like be consistent to like kind of work towards that goal in a way. Not with the expectation that like this is gonna be a thing, but like, working hard at it, I suppose. Because I do hope for that to happen, but primarily because I like, enjoy making videos, and that's really the main motivator or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's really
an
cool.
Interesting thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I actually feel like really similar, like because there was a point where I was like, yeah, I really want this to be my job, and I just like, I took it to a degree where I was like, okay, let me be like, do what I can within my confines to like chase the algorithm and all that, and that shit burnt me out like a motherfucker. So I stopped for a long time, but then. I think for me, it was like I had wanted to get back into it and like start fresh, but working full time and just like working like full time in my job, but also on myself, like improving, like just growing as like a human. I didn't really have the mental energy to get back into it. And then COVID happened, and COVID was like, that shit just whipped me into gear, because when COVID really started fucking over like North America, it was like around March, and Animal Crossing came out. I literally just wasn't really thinking about doing anything else. I was just focused on my job, and I just fucking I just played Animal Crossing for a month, like, and then I was like, okay, this shit is not ending. Like, I need to do something. So I know it's been different in New Zealand, because your country actually had a good handling of COVID, but like, this is kind of off the rails, and I wasn't really planning to talk about this, but now I'm curious now, like, did COVID affect you in any way, like creatively, as far as like positively or negatively?
I think I was really fortunate to be not too affected by it, in terms of my, at least, creativity, like in my creativity, and then even like my work and stuff, like, because I was studying full time at the time. And like that was just from home, which kind of messed with my motivation a bit, but like there's definitely people who had it way worse than me. So
yeah,
I think at that point I was still figuring out like my workflow, to like make videos consistently, and like, so I think it might have hindered it a bit, but like not too much, I don't think. No. I was actually pretty lucky with that. Yeah.
Oh, when's the last time you were like actually worried about COVID that you can remember? It's because I know y'all have not had to like lock down much at all lately.
Yeah. Worried like a year.
Holy shit. Damn.
Like, I think I just want to pretense that like concerned for other countries, and like the large amount of deaths, definitely. Like that hasn't stopped at all, but like worried in terms of like my immediate environment,
Yeah.
not much at all.
Yeah. God, yeah. That's
That's the
I
real
just want
reason
to
you
I
got
just
me
want to
on here.
move to
You're
your
like, what is it like to be like outside and stuff,
yeah.
bro?
Yeah, I was talking to Mitchie about it, and he was like, sometimes I like feel bad like posting on like social media about like social gatherings when other people in other countries are looking at it and be like, what
Yeah,
the
me
fuck,
too.
it's a super spreader. Like, no, there's no COVID in their country for fucking
Yeah.
ages. Like, it's
I
crazy.
saw a thing on Reddit about that. Like, this person posted a picture of a wedding or whatever, and all the comments were like, "How can you have a wedding that's so irresponsible?" And the guy's like, "Bro, I'm in New Zealand."
I saw
It's
that.
like,
I
because all the
saw that.
Americans like,
Oh,
"Oh man."
yeah, it's wild. It's I
I feel
mean,
I feel the same as Mitch though. I feel really bad.
yeah.
And feel very grateful that like I can live as like pretty normally and such. There's one small story from this though, like because
Mhm.
we've had a couple of like lockdowns, like if it starts to grow again, we just like go back in lockdown for like 2 weeks or a
Mhm.
week or whatever. I was part of like this association for my uni where we like ran events for management students, and
Mhm.
like we had a networking expo, and like I introduced the speaker or whatever. I made a comment like, "Oh, like it's very good that we're very fortunate that we can actually do this in this kind of time." Fucking that night, like lockdown level 2 announcement. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, the timing. The timing
I was
is
like, oh
impeccable.
man. Yeah, but we are very fortunate way down here. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Dude, I've been wanting to visit your country for a long time, just because I've been like really close friends with some people down there, and like I'm afraid I'm gonna like go eventually and then be like not want to come back because like
Yeah.
just like especially like if I were to go like now just because of COVID and just be able to live like real life again. Although we're getting back to that point in the
Mm,
States gradually, and
yeah.
some people aren't. Some people think COVID is just over, but like we're not like completely
Nah,
out of that neck of the woods yet. But
it's a step-by-step process.
yeah.
I do think, well, yeah, we've got it pretty good down here. I think we've got our own problems. Like we have the worst housing market in the world,
Oh yeah.
and like some of the highest living costs in the world,
Mm-hmm.
beaten only by like Switzerland, I think. But and like the income isn't as big here, but like overall, yeah, I think we got it pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
No.
come down, we'll hang out, you know.
I would love
Yeah.
to. Like if I get down there, like we gotta hang out. That'd be awesome. I would want to see like as many people as possible that I know over there. All right, let's
Yeah.
shift gears a little bit because there is something that I really was excited to talk about. I have a almost a personal stake in this, and I'll explain in a little bit more detail. But I think the one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring you on first was because we were talking on my stream, and I was telling you how there's a collaborative channel that you're a part of called Blue Shell that I've been
Mm.
watching, and I've been interested in. So, and we were talking about it a little bit, and I'm like, let's save this for the interview. So I wanted to talk to
Yeah.
you about your history with collaborative projects on YouTube. And as far as I'm aware, you've been a part of two, being One Up Entertainment and Blue Shell. Was there anything
Mm.
like similar before One Up?
Nah, that's it. Those are basically the only two. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got that down. Yeah.
So I've done the sort of done the kind of One Up thing where we were doing like podcasts and stuff. So like, can you talk a little bit about what like your group kind of, and what brought you guys together, and like what inspired the creation of One Up, if we can start with that?
Yeah, this is a bit of a story for sure. It was way back in my like final year of high school, and like I had made friends with a YouTuber called like my friend Corey, who like is the owner of Blue Shell
Mm-hmm.
and such. And like he went by the name The Skull Kid and made like similar videos to me, just more like less. I made like comedic stuff. He made more just like
Like would you
I'm
say
not,
like informative
yeah,
kind of?
informative
Yeah.
would be the word I'd use. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the back in those days, it was like early days, it was really good to have someone else to talk to, because when
Mhm.
you have a passion, you need other people to feel that passion. Like even conversations like these inspire me so much.
Mhm.
And so like I remember we met because he was like, he commented on a peanut butter gamer video like,
Mhm.
yo, can anyone give me feedback on my videos? And I did, like, just replied like, yo, it's great stuff, I like your content. And then he messaged me on Facebook like, want to collab? I'm like, all right. But like we never actually got around to that collab in particular that we mentioned there, but we did start talking for like ages.
Mhm.
um and like we'd talk, have those like 4 or 5 hour calls talking about favorite YouTubers, what we wanted to do,
Mhm.
like video games we liked and stuff like that. And so eventually, the collab stuff between us like never worked out. Mostly because of like, just the nature of things at the time. But
Mhm.
eventually we were like, oh, all these other channels, we loved like Normal Boots and Hidden Block, these groups and such, and we loved when they did collaborative stuff, and we're like, oh, we should do something like that. And because a lot of people were doing that at the time, you know.
Yeah.
And so we got on 3 other creators, which we met and like brought on, but also became friends with. There was like Snooping Turtle, Patrick, who like, I'm still good friends with,
Mhm.
Harvey Squire, Harvey, who's has like stopped making like videos and such, but he's a fantastic guy,
Mhm.
and a channel called Zenta, which was Michael and such, and we just made like fucking like podcasts and like all that kind of stuff for like a few years. Hired an artist to do like an intro, and we put that on all our videos, and we were like, yeah, this is awesome, we'll have like a little community and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, didn't really work out that way.
Yeah.
Like, there was a. Here's the thing, I'm in New Zealand, Corey's in Canada, Pat and Harvey were in the UK, and
Wow.
Michael was in the Netherlands. So it was a
Oh
fucking
man.
nightmare to get anything going. And we
Yeah,
were every
that's
time we were like, oh,
impossible.
we'll work it out. Which we did. I'm impressed with how many meetings we actually got going, but like
Mhm.
it was a fucking nightmare. And so after a few years, like two of them weren't really interested in making content anymore, and so like we kind of reinvented the channel with like a new kind of podcast, new like live streams and such, with just me, Corey, and Pat.
Mhm.
Um, and we'd continue that for a while, which was pretty cool because we had like a consistent schedule. Me and Pat would stream like every like Tuesday morning or whatever, and we'd stream Stardew Valley, and it was fucking a good
Nice.
time.
Love me some
Yeah,
Stardew.
yeah. We streamed, I think like we did it quite a bit, and after a while, like we still had conflicting schedules, so it was really hard to meet up still and such like that. Corey was going through a lot in his personal life, so it was hard for him to commit time.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, so it eventually we got to a point where like this isn't working that well. In short, like there was a lot of a lot of like iterations where it's like we're having these problems. Okay, let's fix them and such, which worked for, like, but long term it just didn't really go anywhere. So,
Mhm.
but that Corey did work on Blue Shell in the meantime, and then like we kind of transferred a lot of the skills he learned from One Up to like Blue Shell, which has been very successful. And like he
Mhm.
was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, I can offer you good paid work to write and voice like every videos every now and then for it and such." And I was like, "Yo, nice."
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like there's
Yeah.
a different approach when it comes to those two channels because there's a lot of people working on Blue Shell, but is there a ton of like direct like collaboration for those kinds of videos?
Um, I would say it's kind of different in the sense that it's like a bunch of creators who work like on their own like scripts and such, but there's also they hand those over to like editors and such. So it's a pretty good workflow.
Mhm.
Um, but like there's a bit of, quality control where like Corey or me would like watch over other videos and be like, maybe change this a bit and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it was a bit more individual in that sense, which I think was a strength.
Yeah.
Which is a strength because
Especially with
like
all your time zones, like that's gotta mitigate that like immensely.
yeah, and like with Blue Shell, it's definitely like Corey's channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I was okay with that because it was kind of nice to just kind of hand off management of something to him and just like focus on content.
Mm-hmm.
Because like over the past like 4 years that we ran One Up, I gradually came to realization like a year or two ago that this is taking a lot of time away from PrimeHylian, my stuff I actually primarily care about making.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it created kind of a conflict of interest where I'm like, I really want this like group to succeed, and it's like it's fun because it's working with friends. But like after a while, I'm like, I'd rather just make my own stuff because
Yeah.
that's what I enjoy the most. Especially with so many conflicting schedules and like those meetups where it's like, okay, we're gonna call it this time, but then someone pulling out last minute or like just not working out and
Mm-hmm.
such. So
Yeah.
got burnt out after a while. And I remember my friend, my flatmate at the time, saying, like, I think your like game design stuff's much more your strength than like your like podcast and live stream such, which
Mm-hmm.
was a bit kind of hurt at the time, but it was
Yeah.
definitely true. And I realized like, yeah, it's definitely right, and it kind of got me thinking about it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was yeah, that was kind of the journey I went on. Um, but I don't regret any of it. Maybe I do regret how long I spent trying to make it work when it was clearly like there's a certain point where it's like this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, my experience with that was way shorter lived because, I mean, we did like some podcasts and like I remember I still get grief to this for this to this day. We made
Yeah.
like this. We were like, fuck it, dude. Let's make a let's play like just for fun and see how it goes. And I did this let's play with Raz and Mitch, and we were playing on table.
Yo.
We were playing Tabletop Simulator. We were playing the board game Sorry, and I was like, I'm very much the kind of person where I'm just like, I want to just like kind of prove my like worth, kind of, and be like
Right.
I don't like just like kind of like freeloading in a sense. Like it's not probably not the best way of describing it, but I'm like whenever
No, but I
something
can understand that. Yeah.
yeah, whenever something comes up, I'm like, I'll do it. Give it to me. It'll get done. Let's fucking do it. So I was like, yeah, I'll edit this fucking Sorry let's play, and then I think I made one episode of it, and then I was like, dude, this is just not. It's just not it. I'm not about this. And I fucking lost like all the fucking assets for it, like all the recordings, all the audio. And I'm like,
no.
all right, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, part 2 is just not coming. I'm so sorry.
Guys. Sorry episodes.
I'm sorry about the sorry. But yeah, and after that, I still really like the idea of like participate in a collaboration, and this might come off to some people potentially kind of cringy, but I don't know if you remember or was like ever saw this, but back in the day, are you familiar with Austin Eruption?
Yeah, and Arcadia.
Arcadia, yeah, I was gonna talk about Arcadia.
Yeah, that was a big like point of reference, I guess, for us, because like, oh, this is how they do it. This is really cool.
Yeah,
Here's how we can be slightly different, but like, yeah, and that's how I found a lot of channels like like Naveed and First and stuff. It was like just
yeah,
really talented creators.
I was a big fan of all of them. I loved how they were handling that. It's a shame that it didn't pan out like successfully for them.
Yeah,
but
totally.
Yeah, I can see why. It's like I think the way they handled it was really cool from because if I could just go into a little bit of detail about it. Arcadia as a collaborative channel, it was Austin's channel. Like he literally turned his own channel into a collaborative network, and it was incredibly personality driven. Like you would see in the feed, like, okay, this is a video from somebody besides Austin. Austin is not a part of this. So people that were
they
probably
all had their distinct pixel art and stuff.
oh
It
my
was
god,
so
that
cool,
art was so good, dude. I was like, I want a fucking pixel art
I want
Steve,
one of
dude.
those.
Dude, just invite me to Arcade. It's so fucking cringe, but I don't even care. I like it was very inspiring for me, and I can see why it probably didn't pan out, because Austin's fans probably saw videos from other creators and didn't even attribute it to being Austin, and so they probably didn't watch as much, and people probably like got busy and stuff and weren't able to contribute as much. But
Yeah.
that got me thinking, and I was like, man. And this was at the point where I was really struggling to create because I was like going through shit. But I was like, man, if I just wish somebody else would start a collaboration channel and bring me on, because I don't want to be in charge of that shit. I just want to make stuff every once in a while and not be worried about like consistent uploads and all that. So I wanted to talk to you about that because it's something that I've thought about a lot, and I was curious about your experience contributing to the Blue Shell channel without having it be like you're running you're calling the shots and making sure like the upload schedule stays like consistent and all that.
Yeah, no, totally. And like I didn't realize how much I would enjoy not having control in a way. Like Corey's got a lot of direction with it. He's got like he takes on a lot of the stress from that because it's, you know, his passion project, and it's kind of nice not having to worry about like direction and such. Like I still give feedback like, hey, maybe if we're uploading these kind of videos they should be distinct, or you know, whatever. But like it's so nice just being able to focus on the stuff you enjoy.
Yeah
Totally. Yeah,
you've got so many people involved in that channel that even if you wanted to take a break from Blue Shell and focus more on your stuff, you could even come back to it later because you've got guys pumping out videos on that channel. Like it seems like it seems like it's a very well-oiled machine. Like you guys got something really good there, and
that's definitely how I describe it. Like there's, you know, the dedicated editors, writers, and even like streamers and such. Like my buddy AJ joined as a streamer. I'm like, yo, that's awesome. That's fucking dope, because his streams are sick. Yeah, I think the thing I've learned a lot from like all these collaborative groups and such. And you know, I've deepened good like friendships with people as well. It's also taught me a lot about priorities though, which has been the biggest takeaway I've learned from like managing my channel and such like that. Is like I would spend so much time like doing the branding for like the thumbnails, like the overlay, and like, okay, we got this person on this week, so I need to adjust this and like add like all this like graphic design stuff, which is good experience, but man, it took so much time.
Yeah, man.
And time away from the stuff I ultimately was passionate about.
Yeah. You know what it makes me think about? It makes me think of like the fucking whole like game. I don't know if you watched Game Grumps back in the day, but I just remember like not a fan. I'll just go on record right now saying not a fucking fan of JonTron these days. He said some, not to make it political or anything, but he just said shit that I just don't agree with, and not a big fan. But I was a big fan of JonTron when I started and was into Game Grumps, and I just remember him being like, all right, we're starting this Let's Play thing. Like, it's just gonna be on the side. I'm gonna make videos. Don't worry, I'm gonna make JonTron videos. And it's like 2 years have passed, and he hasn't made a JonTron video. He's like, I'm leaving Game Grumps, and then he just started making his shit again.
Starts making videos again.
Yeah, I think that's something you just learn once you start a collaborative project. Like, I feel like I've noticed it enough where it's like, you go in anticipating it being like a side hustle and being able to work on both, but you truly underestimate it becomes your everything. Yeah, because at that point, the success of everybody else is pulled together. So I don't know if you feel the same way. I feel like you probably do, but it's like you kind of feel like, oh, I don't want to like ease up on this because then I'm letting down everyone in the group, and it's like some psychological shit going on there. It just makes it really tough, but
yeah. Oh, no, you're totally right with that, because it's like, I want to do this, I want to work hard with this, I want to like, you know, don't want to let down people and such. But like there was a certain point where I'm like, we kind of have to let this go, because at some point it felt like a sinking ship. Like we'd try this for 3 years, like after you've done something for 3 years and like tweaked it and all that, and if it's still not working, like maybe it's time to either move on or like try something else, you know? And like I don't mean that in the sense of like don't try your passions, but like, you know, if it's something you're really with the intention, like we're gonna make this work and it's taking a lot of your time or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like usually 3 to 5 years is like the period, you know, like for
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Do you let's say in the event that Blue Shell really blows up, like really blows up, like gets to like fucking game explain levels of viewers and content and shit, would you do
Yeah.
you think you'd go all in on that, or do you think you would continue to work on your own stuff as well?
I definitely focus on my own stuff still, because like Corey's done a lot of his own freelance stuff for like a bunch of other channels. So that's literally what he does full time, is like he edits and
Oh
writes for
wow.
like and manages channels as well as Blue Shell and such.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me a couple of times like, dude, if you want to do this full time, I could have enough work for you. And I turned
Oh,
him down
okay.
because I'm like, I've like I appreciate him offering that, but I've been there in
Mm-hmm.
the freelance hustle, and like
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely make it work if it was like paid enough, but like no, I just value like stability and security quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd still help like quite a bit and be involved, but like no, I think my channel would still take priority. And I think it's
Nice.
going to remain like as my priority. Also because like I have a pretty cool job now and I'm like quite invested in that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Like yeah, that's what I'd say about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. Interesting. All right.
Mm.
I don't have a ton of other questions specifically about like YouTube stuff, but I was thinking about this, and because we've been talking a lot like on my stream, like through my like Twitch chat and stuff. And
Yeah, yeah.
I've noticed this is gonna be the part where I lose everyone. And I don't even care. I don't even care because I just want to talk about
I
it.
know what this
You
is.
know
Here
where
we
this is
go, here we
going.
go.
So
I know what this is.
dude, okay. I've been a part of multiple different like online communities kind of. There's like the YouTube, there's I talk about this in my upcoming video, but just a moment of time where I was just like friends with people that I met in a streamer's Discord server. And then there's Overwatch. And I was a big
Yeah.
I like y'all a lot of people
Y'all
in
better
chat.
know.
Yeah, y'all know. Y'all watch that fucking Overwatch video. I poured my heart and soul into that shit. That took up so
amazing video.
much of my life. And
Dude,
I
I
was
watched that video like 3 times.
Oh,
and
dude.
shared it in my
Oh
Discord
my-
twice. I'm
Oh
like,
my
guys,
God.
please, this is a good. Please go watch.
Oh, dude,
this
that
video.
that means so much to me. Dude,
So
yeah.
fucking good.
Releasing that
Can we-
has been an experience.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you don't have the redemption for play
No,
Overwatch in chat.
I
Fuck.
took it down. You know, I took it down
Damn.
because I took it down because I was practicing for the DKC race against Snowman,
Yeah.
and I was like, I cannot have motherfuckers coming in here telling me to play Overwatch when I need to get better at this game. Like I have to grind Dong Young. I don't want to play Overwatch right now, so I took it down. I'll put it back up
That's so
eventually.
funny.
I'll put it back up eventually. I think
It's
that'd
coming
be
back.
funny.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
Fucking Mitch, there. Save those points, Mitch.
Yeah, yeah, you got the points, but the option is gone. But yeah, I'm like, I've come with the release of that video. I've almost like, I'm at peace now with Overwatch.
Yeah.
I can move on from Overwatch now and not feel like there's a stone left unturned. I've done it. I've gone as far as I want to go, as far as like trying to be pro, trying to coach and all that shit. But the thing that I just find so funny is, and I brought it up, like, I've been a part of multiple different communities, and there is no overlap. There's almost no overlap. And so whenever I find somebody that does YouTube and is like involved in Overwatch and is like as passionate as me about like the esports scene and the game, I'm just like, dude, I can't talk to anybody about this shit. Let's fucking talk about some Overwatch shit. So I had to talk to you. So
Fuck yeah.
like if we like we'll probably end on this discussion. So
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about like just going on forever about it, but I was curious like I mean, I gave my story with Overwatch. I'm kind of curious, how deeply have you been involved with the game, and like watching like Overwatch players on stream and like passionate about Overwatch esports. Like I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I definitely can say I haven't had as much like success in the grind as you, because
Yeah,
like you fucking grinded
I grinded.
comp shit, man.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm just a plat player, so I can't say I've ever had the same level of like experience or
Mhm.
success with that. But I do fucking love the game quite a bit.
Mhm.
And like there was me and my friends like formed a team, and I definitely relate to the feeling of like, like I'm trying to be like the leader, or like tell them like, oh, maybe we should do
Shot
this and
caller and
such,
all
and
that. Yeah.
yeah, and some of them not taking it as seriously and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like, but we had a lot of fun, which is the most important thing. Like
Mhm.
again, yeah, and like I always loved watching the Overwatch League and such like that. I got into the game after all my friends did, because they
Okay.
told me to get it
Yeah.
like around 2018, and then like I have more hours than like all of them
Yeah.
by a long shot.
That's funny because I actually was not. I played at launch. I got in
Yeah,
because all the boys were like, "You gotta fucking we gotta play this." I was like, I would feel left out if I don't give this a shot, and
yeah, yeah.
and so I did play at launch, but I wasn't. I didn't get into it of my own volition. I was just like, I wanted to play with my boys, and then I was the
Mm-hmm.
last one standing. Like everybody
Yeah.
moved on, and I'm like, okay, I gotta make some new friends in this game if I want people to play with.
Oh, totally, yeah. And like at this point, I just kind of play with friends or by myself to like. It's weird that the game's quite relaxing for me, because like I'm just
Really?
playing Zarya, and like just like there's so much going on, and I'm just like hanging in a call with friends, and it's like a
Hmm.
huge team fight with like 3 ultimates, and I'm just like
Yeah.
talking like, yeah, work was alright, I did this, whatever, and just like my fucking hands like just like going crazy or whatever, and like,
Are
I'm
you
just
queued
like.
up and competitive while you're doing that? I think that.
Sometimes, yeah, not gonna lie. But
Oh, that's
like,
funny.
yeah, I love the Overwatch League as well. I've got like I think like 12 or 13, probably more than that actually. Like Overwatch League skins and such
Oh,
from watching the
same.
games and
Yeah.
such. Yeah,
Yeah, when it was on Twitch, you used to get a shit ton of those tokens just from watching
yeah.
and
You get
getting all the
more on
skins.
YouTube now than
Do
it
you
used to
really?
be.
Okay.
Yeah, like
They had to
I've
make up for not having that functionality for an entire season. Like,
yeah, it's like they've definitely made the right decision, because I was
yeah,
like, I opened up the game, I'm like, well, I got fucking a shit ton from just watching a couple of matches. Nice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's definitely the competitive game I've been the most into, except for Smash Bros, which is a
Hmm.
whole nother
I
bag
do
of
want I do want to
worms.
ask him. I do want to ask you about that too. But let's stick to Overwatch for a bit, and then maybe we'll cap it off with some of your like involvement in other esports. Because I saw on your portfolio there's like some like organization I think that
Mm-hmm.
you're organizing. But yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Overwatch is. I've got like 850 hours at this point, which
Whew.
is less than some people, but it's still
All
a
right,
hot minute or two in the
here's my
game.
question. Here's how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know if you're a true Overwatch degenerate.
I'm about to be outed right
Do
here.
you have multiple accounts?
Okay, I don't. I actually don't. But
You
I've been
are
tempted.
safe, my friend. You are not a degenerate. You only have one account.
Only time I've been tempted is like I want to play with my friends and chill out, but all the
Mm-hmm.
people I play against are super sweaty. I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. It's
See,
like,
it's not just me, guys. It's not just
yeah,
me. Look, it's a real thing. You want to play with your friends, you get a fucking alternate account. It's not
yeah,
as necessary these days with like role queue and stuff, but like,
yeah.
dude, I
Oh,
have way too many accounts, bro. It's bad. It's real bad.
I think most of my friends who play the game like actively have like one or two. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, just because I'm like, I don't really care or whatever. But like at this, I'm kind of feeling it now with my friends who don't play it that much. And
Mm-hmm.
like we go into a game, the other team's like comboing like 4 ults and have like meta comps. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry guys, like trying to be like nice, like maybe we should swap to this. But I'm like, it is what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm. If I can go on record now, because I don't really care as much, but about how this is where my Overwatch multiple accounts degeneracy reached peak level. And I don't care because I'm not really involved in the scene anymore. Like, but I had a friend on my team who is like insanely skilled player. He was like his mechanical skill was insane, and but his decision making was dog shit. And so he would be like he would be hard stuck in like Masters Elo, but and he did really well under pressure, so he would play up to the level of the lobby that he was in. So I arranged with him. I was like, dude, this is like the most like first world problem bullshit ever. I'm like, dude, I just have too many high rated accounts, bro, and I can't play to this level anymore. It's so cringe. So I was like, yo, I do want a new account, but how about this? I'll give you one of my accounts and you buy me a new one, and I'll fucking level it up to 25. It's so pathetic, but I just don't even care. I think it's so funny.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
It was hilarious too, because he renamed that account and he got reputation that account. He got reputation on that account, yeah, like because like I said, he played up to that level. It was crazy. And like he started getting recognized by like pro players and stuff like on that account. I'm like, hey, if only you do, baby. Who got that to Grandmaster? But yeah,
yo, he's like, you're just like sitting back like crediting, like, yeah, I did, that was me game.
Yeah, man, oh my gosh. But yeah, I kind of wanted to talk to you about Overwatch League 2. So first, I think I know the answer to this, but what is your favorite? Which team do you support, if there is one, in Overwatch League currently?
I support two teams. I support the Atlanta Reign and the San Fran Shock.
All right.
I kind of supported the Shock partly because I love the players, but also out of necessity because I'm like, well, I want to watch a team. I want to support for a team that doesn't like lose every season, you know. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, with the Shock, it definitely helps that their style is so fun to watch. Like, whenever you watch a Shock game, you know you're gonna watch like a fun game. So.
Yeah, you know it's gonna be like intense, and there's gonna be some good displays there and such. Even when they lose, yeah. But like, yeah, Atlanta Reign. I've got like 12 Atlanta Reign skins. I've got every tank except like Roadhog and a bunch of DPS and stuff too. I like the big Reinhardt, which is just like blood red. It's really intimidating.
Yeah, Reinhardt looks great with like almost all the Overwatch League skins. I have a bunch for different teams because I kind of would I would get skins if there was like a player on that team in that position that I really liked. Like I don't know if you watched in like season 1, but they're like, are you familiar with the player Fisher, the main tank player?
I know of Fisher. Yeah, I wasn't around when like he was in his peak though.
Yeah, he was fucking cracked out of his mind in season 1, and I loved watching him play. So I got like the Gladiators like Reinhardt skin, and then they made it into playoffs, and there was like some like inner turmoil in their team. So he like basically got benched, and they just insta fucking got destroyed in playoffs. And there was a bunch of drama surrounding him, and I'm like, you motherfucker, I got this fucking skin for you, bitch.
I got this for you.
Fisher, what the fuck, man? Why you gotta abandon your team like that? So I have a bunch for like different teams for that reason, but I'm like,
I feel that.
I wish I just had Atlanta.
Yeah, whenever I feel like that, I'm like, I'd rather just get a whole bunch in the same color. But there's a few, like I've got the because I really like Aiming from Shangju Hunters, the ball.
Oh yeah, I have that Chengdu skin too on ball. Yeah,
I've got that too, and like Alicia one too, and I've got a Houston Outlaws Zenyatta skin. It's the only skin I have from that team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel that fucking.
Outlaws are crazy this year. It's wild to see them turn it around.
Yeah, my friend who might be in chat, who's like fucking didn't give a shit about Overwatch until like a couple of weeks ago. He's like, as he's finally found his kind of like role in characters and stuff, and he's like, all right, what like talk to me, explain the league to me and like the teams, and I'm
Mhm.
like just showing him the schedule, and he's like, Outlaws look cool. That's a cool logo. I'm gonna follow them. I'm like, mate, you picked the best fucking time to follow the Outlaws.
Exactly, dude. They've
I'm
been
like,
so
alright.
pitiful for so long, and now they're just like,
Yeah,
God damn, they
yeah,
upgraded in all the positions they needed to. Like, it's crazy.
yeah. Like the best time. I'm like, man, all right.
Yeah, dude, there's a shocking amount of people that just see the skins and they're like, I want to support this team. Like, they see the colors, like Hangzhou Spark, Chinese team. Like, people are all about that team because they got the pink and the baby blue colored skins and shit.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
totally. And like, oh, do you remember the old like Florida Mayhem like hot dog colored
Oh
ass
my
looking
god, the
things?
old
I'm
mayhem.
so glad they upgraded their branding. It looks so much better. The fucking like red and
Dude,
like mustard and
they
so
were pitiful, dude. And you know what's really funny? In season 1, there was rumors that Defran was going to join that team, and like, because their season 1 roster was terrible, and there were rumors that Defran, who's like one of the like most like well-known players, like professional players who play the game, was going to join their
mm,
team. And it was funny because I think the whole rumor started was because he just liked the skins because he worked at McDonald's. Like, he has like this lore where he just loved working at McDonald's, so he's like, oh dude, let's go McDonald's skins, dude. And he just
you
gets
should
all the mayhem skins.
what the fuck? You should go for the rain thing because I think they're sponsored by McDonald's.
Oh, they are sponsored by McDonald's now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shit, man. Maybe
That's
they got Defran up in there to negotiate the sponsorship, dude. All right, guys, let's
think-
go. Atlanta Rain, you gotta
Yo,
you gotta sponsor us,
Yo.
dude.
I need 3 Big Macs before every match. You know?
Oh my god.
I think he's on the. Is he on the Outlaws or the Fuel? I think, or it might not even be either of those.
Are we talking about
Remember.
Defran or someone else?
Yeah, Defran, yeah.
I think he's Origlis now. I think because he
Yeah.
was with Atlanta and then left the team to be a streamer, and now he's
Oh,
just
Defran, yeah.
yeah. He's like doing the farming shit. Like, he's doing
Oh,
his
yeah,
thing.
farming.
He's a very
And he said
interesting
some-
guy. He said
He
some
said
fucked up
weird things
shit.
on fucked up shit on Twitter. We're all like,
Oh man.
my guy, come on.
Yeah,
we don't...
yeah. It's hard for me to. God, we're getting into some dodgy territory talking about that, but like, I met the dude IRL. I met him at the Atlanta homestand, and so it's like, it's just really disappointing to see him go down that road. But I like to think that he means well, but he's just going about that whole topic. Not even going to go into detail, but just going into that in a very like problematic way and all that shit. It's just like,
Yeah, I think the way
whack.
just the wording and framing of some of his things is like, just like, bruh, just not in a good way. Yeah,
Just
I feel
keep
like
it to
that's-
yourself, dude. Just keep it to yourself.
Or
Yeah.
like keep that between friends, like not on
For
not on
sure.
Twitter,
Yeah.
not on Twitter, and like then he got in an argument with Harblu and called him like all these like names like passive aggressive like DJ
Oh
thing, and
my
Harblu's like,
God.
cool, bro.
That drama just, oh my god, dude, that shit had me so weird.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go further into it, but
Yeah,
that
let's
whole
move on from
interaction
that.
was
It's
so
just
funny to me. Yeah, it was mad funny. But yeah, let's we can move on. But yeah, I think we should talk more about Overwatch because I love having new Overwatch friends and shit, and just shit like talking shit about the league and stuff. So it's really
Let's do
cool.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
it's always fun.
I did bring this up, so let's talk about this before we cap it off here. Let's talk about your involvement in Smash, and so I only briefly looked at your portfolio, but I saw that there's like an organization that did you found that yourself, or were you like involved in it in some way?
So like it's an organization called like AFK Esports, which is just a business me and a couple of friends started, which is kind of on the side and also just like taking a backseat for now because we're both so busy.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend Jake, but like we went pretty hard last year. We ran like a bunch of event viewerships for like League Worlds like in the last year and stuff, and like a bar, and like had a bunch of people come. It was was pretty fun. Yeah.
Like watch party sort of thing
Yeah, watch party.
That's fucking
Yeah.
that's really cool actually.
Yeah, and like it was on one of the nights of like a big rugby game too, because that's pretty big in um New Zealand, and we had more people watching League of Legends than like rugby fans in the bar, and we're just like,
Yo,
I think we've
that's
won.
cool. That's very
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah. But like we're just it's kind of on the side because esports is growing in New Zealand quite a bit. So we're just like, okay, we'll just keep this on the side because we're both like working full time, and I'm trying to do the channel and fucking everything, you know. So just, but like that's a side hustle for sure. But in terms of like the other game I was invested in, Smash Bros, is like fucking I like back in 2016, I think. No, like 2016, 2015, me and my friends got into Smash competitively on like the Wii U and like 3DS and such. We'd play each other. Then we started going to tournaments and like got to know people there. And my friend Elijah was just always better than us. And I was like, since I'm a competitive person, I'm like, I want to be good at this game. I want to
Yeah.
be like good. I want to be the best or whatever. And I fucking grinded for like years and keep going to tournaments and got better and better. And like, I think I peaked on being on the PR for New Zealand at like 12th or something. But my last like big tournament, well, not last, but like end of like Smash 4 is when like because we have like the majors, which is like in the big event centers, and there's quite a bit of money involved in organizations, and there's like locals, which is just like, you know, every couple of weeks or whatever.
To
And like at one
qualify
of
for
the
majors and stuff like that. Is that how that works?
sort of like majors, you just pay a bit more money to enter,
Okay.
but like locals is just like good practice, small
Yeah.
tournaments and
Yeah.
stuff like that, just mostly to hang out.
Yeah.
And like I remember in it was like in one of the big hotels in Auckland, in like one of the lobbies, and like I got like fifth, I think, in a major because I beat a bunch of top players, including the best player in the country at the time, who went in the
Damn.
Fox Ditto, and that was
Oh my
my
god.
yeah, and that was so high. That was like
Sent him to the loser bracket. Did he come back? Was it like
yeah,
a
he
loser
he came
bracket sort of
second.
thing?
He beat me
Yeah.
in, like, and I'm still friends with that guy. His
Yeah.
name's Murphy, and but like that was my favorite point in Smash. Is just like because I played Fox, and I was like considered like second or third, maybe fourth best Fox, and I'm coming like grinding the just fundamentals and neutral, which is just like the like basic interactions and such. And he was a real flashy, aggressive player.
Yeah.
And like there was all the people like in the seats and the commentary and such I could hear, and I was just like playing that. I take the first stock, everyone's like, oh, okay, and I win the first game, everyone's like, well, yo, what the fuck? And then went to game 2, I lose it just in the game 3. It was like last stock, last hit, and I win, and I pop off, and everyone's
Oh
like,
my
what the fuck? What the fuck?
dude, that's
Excuse me.
awesome.
Yeah.
I had no idea that you were that involved with Smash. That's really cool.
Yeah. And like he's fucking cool, and like he sat down after he went like out after, because you know after a game you kind of got to cool down. He sat next to me in the stand or like in the seats and stuff. He's like, dude, you're a fucking legend. I'm like, yo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really compete anymore because there becomes that top player pressure. I was like, I don't really, and stopped enjoying it, and it became such a tedious like chore to practice and such. And
Yeah.
like I go to our local tournament and come like second or third without practicing or anything. I'm like, I'm not really. It was fun, but it was like, yeah, definitely a thing of the past for me.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
I've got to imagine when it comes to fighting games, it's got to be like this very tough like mental battle with yourself to like motivate you to continue practicing, because like I think I talked about it in my video, but like with Overwatch, like I found it so motivating to be like I said, I'm very much the kind of person that doesn't want to let my teammates down, so I'll fucking grind for my teammates. But with fighting games, like, did you ever? I mean, I guess maybe you felt that fatigue after a while, and you're just like, dude, like, there's nothing keeping me doing this but myself, and I just like my heart's like not in it anymore, kind of deal.
Yeah, totally. Like at a point, I was just playing because that's what I've always done, basically. And you're totally right. Like with fighting games, it's just you, and like it's all on you, your mental game, your practice, and there's like no excuse. Like you can blame like the matchup and stuff, but like it's just on you. And like, there's so many techniques people do, like what controller you use, or like if you listen to music or not, or like again, like the stage banning. There's so much into it, and like the
Mm-hmm.
mental game,
Yeah.
and like composure, and because a lot of people get like nervous, especially when playing a good player. Like in my early days, I just get like destroyed by good players and stuff like that.
Same, dude. I
Yeah.
crack under pressure. I like anytime anytime I fucking get like pro players in my lobbies in Overwatch, I'm just like I just like freeze up and I'm like not like playing like how I normally play and shit. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
it's
So
a
many
certain
tournaments
mindset.
like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, I played so bad. So many tournaments where I went 0-2, which means no wins, two
Oh,
losses.
that's tough.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But like, it forced me to learn and get better and such. And I'm happy that because my goal at one point was like get on New Zealand power ranking, which is like the PR top like 10 or 20 players, and I did, and got like 12th. I'm like, cool, I achieved my goal. And it was like after that, I'm like, I've
Mhm.
kind of I've kind of done what I want to do. I
Mhm.
mostly did it just to hang out with friends, which
Yeah.
was, because that was the best part of those tournaments is you just play friendlies, sit
Mhm.
down, like just two people playing as extra chair, like, yo, you mind if I join in? You just sit down and just play other people you've never met before. And it's just
Yeah.
like,
I mean, you
it
said
was
it
awesome.
yourself as far as YouTube goes. It's like when you're passionate about something, like you gotta just like you need people to talk to you about it and bounce ideas off of. And it's the same thing for competing. Like if you're just
Mm,
going, it's like if you're grinding like competitive ladders by yourself, like you don't have anybody to vent to or like anything like
yeah.
it's just like the mental battle is like so tough to stay engaged with it, so yeah.
Mm. And like going back into some earlier topics, the most I think beneficial thing about like collaborative groups or like YouTube communities has been like, that discussion and that support of like being able to share, like people understand like the editing grind, or like where you're just burnt out, or like tips about like writing or whatever, like,
Hmm.
yo, I've been playing around with After Effects and like look at what I can do now and stuff like that.
Yes,
It's
dude,
like
that you just get
so
that
motivating.
dopamine hit from fucking
Yeah,
sharing something small like that, and it goes a long way for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
totally, dude. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up here. I'm gonna open it up. I see somebody asked a question, so we can talk about that a little bit. And if anybody has any questions for Rob or for both of us together, like we can take a couple questions. I think that'd be cool if anybody has any questions. But we can start with this. So Jamanda
Mm.
Bop in the chat said, "How do people with decently sized followings on YouTube meet others in the same field, i.e., Raz, Snow, and Heavy are all in these streams all the time?" So
Yeah.
I'll let you go ahead first. What was the process for you to find you explained it with Corey. He just hit you up and you found him, but like as far as like what brought like Snooping
Mm.
Turtle and Zenter and Harvey and you guys all together as far as like your group and stuff.
Honestly, we just watched their videos and we're like, this guy's cool. Let's hit him up.
Yeah,
like,
that's
like,
usually how it happens, right?
like we saw Snooping Turtle's first video because Kid Icarus like retweeted it and commented on it, and we're like, yo, this
I
is cool.
remember that actually. I actually remember that
Yeah,
happening.
fucking years ago. And then and it just turns out like, oh, he watches our stuff too. Because it's amazing how many YouTubers just, since you make what you enjoy watching, you usually watch other creators like yourself. Like I
For sure,
watch,
yeah.
like Raz or like Mitch's stuff or your stuff or
Mhm.
like Javi Goodblood stuff or
Yeah.
just like a bunch of other creators or like Joystick Drummer. It's like so many, and it's just like it's cool ending up meeting these people that you, because
Mhm.
usually a lot of them like, oh, I've seen your channel, I watch your stuff, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can say for Raz and Snow and Heavy Eyed, since you asked about them in particular, Jamanda. Yeah, it's been years. I
Dude,
mean,
I feel like I've known Mitch for fucking years. I
I
don't even know how I
yeah.
met Mitch.
Yeah, and I mean, I've known them for years, and we all met when we had nothing. Like I met Mitch before he even started his channel. I met Raz when he had 100 subs, um, And yeah, VZ said in the chat, hate and block forums. So, you know, not so much anymore, but these guys that created these collaborative groups like Normal Boots and Hidden Block, they started forums where you could submit your own videos to be featured in. And actually, you know, I actually probably met most of my friends because I posted on the TOVG, Gerard the Completionist. I posted on his, and I think that's how Snowman actually saw my videos. So that's where it starts, I think. Yeah, it's kind of sad that they're not really around anymore, but that's definitely how I met all. I mean, it started there, and you know, it usually takes one person. I think for you, it's probably Corey. There's one person that just gets everyone together and is just hitting everybody up, and you meet people that way. And for me, there was this guy that I met. He doesn't, I don't know, like, I don't really keep up with him anymore, so I'm not sure exactly if he's still doing stuff on YouTube or just like focused on his like real life and stuff. But Load Save, years ago.
I remember that.
You remember Load Save? Yeah.
Dude. Wow.
He hit me up and was like, yo, join the Skype chat. There's a bunch of YouTubers in here and you can meet people. And he was like, I like your videos and all that. I'm like, sure, yeah. Hopped in that. I met fucking Snowman. I met Mitch in there. I met Perry, not in that particular group, but like through the people in that group. And then I saw Raz like had made videos long before me, but then came back from a hiatus. And I roasted Mitch. I didn't just meet him. I roasted him. I fucking roasted him. I said, Mitchie, why is this guy with no videos in the Skype chat for YouTubers?
Oh shit.
I know. I don't get. That's another thing.
That's so fucking funny. Dude.
That's another thing I will hear till the day I fucking die, bro. Is just Mitchie no vidya. Yeah. Like. But yeah, like with Raz, he was making videos long before I had started, but took a very long hiatus, came back. My friend Ryan retweeted his video, and then that's how I saw Raz, and we've just been friends ever since because I loved his video. Dude. Yeah.
I remember Raz commenting on one of my like earliest well, not earliest, but one of my early videos, like maybe like 5 years ago now, and that was back when he had like, you know, less than 10K or whatever. I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. And then like recently, oh shit, this guy's
he blew the fuck up, man. Yeah, for real. It's crazy. Yeah. He's done something really incredible with his channel.
Damn, I hate this chat now, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch, look. For the YouTube, like I didn't start this shit. I didn't start this shit. Mitch came in and insisted that I roasted him. So, you know, if you want to paint the picture that way, look, man, you got fucking roasted.
Here.
No videos,
Mitch. Drama in here, yo.
Drama in the fucking chat room. Okay, let's see. There's some other questions.
Joystick asked,
I see.
What's your favorite video you've made?
Yeah,
that's a good question. Like, it might be, honestly. I'm proud of pretty much everything I've made that's still, like, you know, not unlisted or after, like, 3 years ago. I think proudest would probably be the video about, like, fast travel and stuff called The Convenience Dilemma, or my Mario Odyssey.
I was watching that the other night, actually. I was watching that when I went to sleep. I liked the discussion in that. The Convenience Dilemma.
I was really proud of, like, how I wrote that one and, like, the amount of like depth I went into with like researching it and such. And like, I don't know, even though, you know, there's minor things I changed, like, you know, audio stuff or like whatnot, even still, it's cool to be like, look back at a video 2 or 3 years ago and be like, oh, I'm actually still really happy with this and such. But,
yeah, that's a great feeling, because a lot of people are just, I mean, I can say this for myself. I look at all the stuff on my old channel, I'm like, don't fucking remind me of that shit, man. Like, but I'm glad that, like, for me personally, like the stuff that I started with this channel, I'm still like pretty proud of. I think that's good. It's healthier that way, to be able to look back and still appreciate what you made in the past, for sure.
Yeah, like if I'm not making, my mind says, if I'm not making stuff, I'm like, if I'm making stuff I'm not proud of, like, why bother, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. For sure.
So I'm happy with pretty much all my videos. I'm actually really proud of, like, pretty much all of them. Yeah. But that one I'm just like, I don't know. It's just like really concise, and I don't even think it's maybe the best one. It's just one I'm like the most happy with.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's cool. So let's get another question here. Mitch asked, aside from time zones, do you find living in New Zealand restricts you as a creator? I find knowing around who even knows what I do or no help from greater communities is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, totally. Like me and Mitch were in like a YouTube group for like New Zealand creators, and it was fucking shit because pretty much all the people were just like self promotion and nothing else, or they
Oh
were like
yeah.
really they kind of had like a big following and were really condescending, and it was like there's like
Mm-hmm.
no there was a couple of cool people, but it was like no value. So I would say yes, also because it's harder to like meet with people, because like I'm a very like relationship based person. I like talking to people face to face and such,
Yeah.
or video to video, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I would say restricts to a degree, especially with time zones. But like, you know, it's hard to collaborate like in person or like go to all those meetups and such. But that's the only restriction I'd say, because you can still like meet people online and such.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck, there's so many people I'd like to hang out with that I've known for like, I swear, like me and Corey we've known for like 5 or 6 years, and I still haven't met in person. But it's like,
Dude, it's
that's
hard when you live
crazy.
across the world, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
fucking
mean, the shit that had to happen to get to for me to be able to meet Mitch was Raz got fucking married. Like I mean, I'm
yeah.
sure I know Mitch was really excited about visiting the States, but like that was the kind of thing where it's like, okay, I want to be there for my boy's wedding. Like, and then
Yeah,
he got to tour the States and like meet a bunch of guys, and like that was that's what it took, man. Like it's tough. There's a lot of people that I have known for a long time that I've still yet to meet, and I really want to meet. And I'm hoping, like, I put it off or before COVID, because I kind of was just like, oh yeah, it'll happen eventually. But then COVID happened, and it's like,
you're like,
damn,
oh fuck, will it actually
I don't
happen?
even have an option now. This sucks. Like, and it's
Yeah.
really made me want to go out and travel more, and like go like places where friends live, maybe go to Canada, maybe eventually go to New
Mm.
Zealand. Like, I think that'd be really cool. So I want to meet my online friends. There's some really cool relationships that it just sucks that you can't like be with them in person and stuff.
Totally. I want to play like couch co-op games with my friends and such like that. But
Yeah.
they're all in the States or in Canada, and I'm like, or in the
Yeah.
UK, I'm like, oh fuck. But you know, at
Yeah.
least I'm grateful we can still like hang out even if it's just by Discord. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's even a chapter of my life I haven't even touched yet, is like actually meeting people I've met through like this venture.
Mhm.
Like, I
Yeah.
suppose Mitch has a lot of stories where I'm like, that's something I haven't even experienced yet, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and for me there was a bit of hesitancy beginning because I mean, I was younger, and my parents were like, meeting people you met online, like that sounds sketchy.
Oh,
Like, no, like you
no, no, no.
no. I remember it was like I had just gotten out of high school, and it was like SGC, like a ScrewTech gaming convention 2015, and a bunch of my
Ah,
friends went
fuck,
to
I
that.
remember Screw Attack, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go so bad, and it just like wasn't in the cards. My parents did not support me in it. I had never traveled on my own at that point, so it was just like, damn, like this sucks that I wasn't able to make this happen. But I've done some stuff. I went to my friend Joey Razorburn's wedding. That was fucking awesome. That was where I met Raz for the first time. I met Joey for the first time. Incredible experience. Went to Raz's wedding in Milwaukee. Saw a bunch of friends there. I saw Mitch.
Dude,
I saw Jesse. I saw Joey again. Like it was like an amazing time. So best week of my life, says Jesse. I agree, man. It was literally the best week ever. So if you get the
wow, that
chance
sounds
soon,
amazing.
like take a trip, man. It's gonna be really cool to see those friends for sure.
Yeah, definitely something I'll be looking into. Well, now that I probably, when hopefully everyone gets vaccinated and we can travel again,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
I've got my first vaccination shot. I'm getting my second one on Saturday. So in the States, we're getting there. It just really sucks that other countries have not been as fortunate as us because of just how the whole vaccine process has panned out.
Totally.
But yeah.
Any other questions in here?
I did see one
Mitch,
question.
We do need to hang out, Mitch.
I did see one question from my brother, Globetrotter. I have a question for Rob. What is your favorite emote and why is it Wiz Smile?
It's definitely was a smile, dude.
Dude, I love it seeing you guys just fucking spam that emote everywhere.
It's one of the best emotes I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to show you where this emote came from after the stream. I'll link you the video. There's like snowman doing Donkey Kong month. And we made this like parody, like recreation of like the DK rap from DK64. And it's like the hottest cringe ever. And my part in that is just so fucking dumb. And that's where the face comes from for the emote. It's just like perfectly like it just makes such a good emote for that face. I love it.
That's so funny, dude. I love emotes that have stories behind them, eh?
Yeah.
It just makes them even better when people spam them and stuff. It's like,
yeah,
spam this Steve if you believe. And especially on Donkey Kong Country 2 race as well. Oh, man.
I didn't have the chat open, but my brother told me, yeah, like everybody, the chat was just a Wiz Smile.
Fucking spamming that shit, man.
Yeah. It makes me very happy to see that. Have you been, I know you kind of talked about it with like Blue Shell, you guys like have streamers and you were doing it for 1UP, I think. Like, have you been doing much streaming lately or like have an interest in streaming?
Oh, dude, I'd love to get back into streaming. I just don't have any time to do it right now.
That's totally fair.
Streaming's so tiring for me. Like,
yes,
I don't know how some people do it.
Dude, it's tough.
Yeah, I can barely do 2 hours, but I feel like for the growth of my channel and like just that would just be a good thing to do. So that's something I'm working on, trying to figure out like when I can stream consistently. Like back in I used to, when I had more time, I'd stream a bunch in like my second year where I'd have like 3 times a week and I'd time slots and I'd like come home from class and get set up and go. And like it was pretty cool. It was fucking tiring though, but like I couldn't keep it up. So
yeah,
you know, I think I'd be a bit more lax about it and just try and do like once a week or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like my mindset is same with like, you know, collaborative channels and such too. As long as it's not like detracting from my main channel, it'd be a good thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I feel you on the exhaustion, like, and I've been doing this for years now. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, I don't even know how I used to do it, man. I used to stream like single player games for like 4 or 5 hours at a time. Like I remember I did these Paper Mario streams that people loved, and I read every line of dialogue in a funny voice, and my voice would just be dead at the end of a stream, and it's like it is understated how much
so much
how
energy,
exhausting it really is. Yeah.
Because it's like you go into performance mode, and that's like you got to keep it up, and like it's kind of it's crazy how many things you got to go. I kind of relate it to being a dungeon master because like that's a big interest of mine.
Yeah.
Up until recently, I've like run a campaign for over 4 years for the same group, and like every week, and like I just. But I was much better at that because I had more experience and like you know I enjoyed it arguably more than streaming, though I do love streaming quite a bit. But like it's like you're in a different mode, you're in performance mode, and we're all eyes like kind of on you, and it's like okay, I'm making the entertainment happen, you know.
Yeah. I mean, with YouTube, you know, you get into performance mode to do your voiceover and like that's it. But with streaming, you're just on that shit for multiple hours at a time, and there's a sense of pressure. Like at least for me, I'm like, oh god, is the stream getting boring now? Like I gotta fucking find something to talk about. Like
feel that so hard, especially in D&D as well. I'm like, especially because usual sessions be like 3 or 4 hours, but we had some like this is a pretty cool story actually. My friend Jordan works at Novotel, which is, you know, big hotel chain,
Mm-hmm.
and because of how his work is, like he can get rooms for cheaper, like every so often, and like get those business conference rooms. So, 3 times now, our group's gone to a hotel and played D&D in one of those big fucking like business conference rooms that cost thousands of dollars and stuff like that. We all set it up and like you'll just play that for like 2 days,
Damn, that's fucking sick.
and like all the food's like 50% off in a fancy 5-star
Oh
restaurant and stuff.
my
Like literally
god.
some of the best memories I've had. It's peak D&D. Yeah,
Yeah,
Johnny and Marbles in chat fucking it was
that's really
tiring though,
cool.
because it's like a weekend for me. It's like, okay, I got to make sure everything's ready,
Mm-hmm.
and like even during the thing I'm like fucking tired, but you know, it was so fun. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
it's
tried D&D a couple times, and like unfortunately, it's not something that I am like super interested in. But like,
mm,
just and for me, it was the sessions just going on so long, and I can't even imagine what it's like to be a dungeon master and having to prepare on top of that, preparing all this shit for your players to do, and then getting
yeah.
into it and like and being a part of it. But like,
Yeah, I
it's
recently had
cool.
to step down because of that, because I was getting so busy and it became a chore. And like it's been going on for so long, I'm like, I want to try something new,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I want to again want to dedicate more time to the channel, because like I had a point a few years ago in my life. I almost had like a crisis where I'm like, I was playing Smash Bros. I was running One Up Entertainment. I was like running weekly D&D sessions. I was studying my honors degree full time, like had relationship issues and such like that. And I was like trying to still make videos as well. And it
Mm-hmm.
was just like, I think there was even more stuff there. And I was like, I remember in a counseling session, I was talking about, I'm like, oh, then she cuts like the counselor started writing it up on the board. I'm like,
All the shit that
holy
you're doing.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I need to step back from a couple of things. I've been slowly
Yeah.
doing that over the past few years, which is, I honestly think the biggest reason why I've been able to make videos like kind of monthly
Mm-hmm.
recently, which is because I've like stepped back from a lot of stuff that I haven't been enjoying as much,
Mm-hmm.
and like kind of prioritizing things a bit more. But yeah, kind of taking a break from D&D now, because like it just became work and like
Yeah.
tiring, you know.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
still fun though.
I
Yeah.
just I don't know how you're able to do all that shit. I'm very much the kind of person that values the like lazy time of just like not doing
Yeah,
anything.
see,
But
I've learnt to value that more, because I used to have this fucking toxic mindset a few years ago where it's like if I'm not working on something, I'm like I punish myself and be so guilty. Like you could be,
hmm
oh, probably because I had so much going on and so many responsibilities. Like you should be studying, you should be working on like the one up thing. Oh, you haven't made a video in a while and such. Like you should be planning D&D and stuff. And so anytime I was like I just want to play video games, I was like I was just like have these like thoughts, and it was so shit. But now it's like I place a high amount of importance on that like chill time where I just play games with friends, or fucking like just feel like going out to just like hang out with my girlfriend like spontaneously and stuff like
yeah.
that, you know.
Yeah, it's super
Yeah,
important. It's and
downtime's so important, yeah.
insanely important for your health, for your mental health, for your physical health even. So, I'm glad that
Totally.
you've come to that realization. I'm very happy
Yeah.
for you in that.
Yeah. You don't need to work every second or every day. It's like
Mhm.
conscientiousness can
Mhm.
is good, but it also can be a downfall, you know.
Yeah. Well, let's take this last question here from Nest Dweller, and then we'll call it. So they say, do either of you have difficulty pushing through writing a script due to lack of confidence in it? I'll let you start.
That's a fucking good question, eh? That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so much of like I think you mentioned a line that I resonated with in your Overwatch video, where fucking confidence is everything, right? Same thing for
Yes.
YouTube. Like I think I'm very confident in my stuff now, where I can just write stuff and just, like proofread it enough and like do that every month. But like it takes a while to get confident in your craft. I'd say yeah, it takes like I don't really have difficulty unless it's something I want to be like my magnum opus or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that
it's definitely something that's yeah,
I know a thing or
definitely
two
something
about
that's
that.
yeah,
Experienced
yeah.
that
I'm sure you
recently.
yeah. Um, yeah, it's something that you get better at over time, because I used to spend fucking year or like, some cases like scripts would sit in my backlog for years. But now it's yeah, just have confidence in yourself. If you make something, not everything has to be the best thing you've ever made, but like still try and make good stuff. I have like processes as well to like kind of help with that as well. Like I write stuff and then I'll get like a couple of people, like someone like Mitch or VZ or some of the people in the Discord to like read over the script and critique it, which helps a lot because
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
yeah,
I've been
like,
doing that for a long time as well.
so good, such like one of the best things because it's like I want my content to be good as possible, but like that doesn't have to be attributed to me completely because other people also are good at writing and stuff
Well,
like
also,
that.
even if you have it, I think it definitely helps if you are feeling kind of shaky on something. It's like it's really good to you know, I think it helps to have a friend read over it and give you a little bit of affirmation and being like, because one thing that is very prevalent in making videos is you read the same lines in your script over and over again. You listen to yourself over. You become numb to it, yeah, and you don't know. There's a point where if you've been working on something for a long time, you just don't even know if it's good or bad. So like that, having a little bit, having a bit of affirmation helps a lot. I'll say, as far as my answer to this question, I think you put it well when you said it takes time to build that confidence. There was a point where I hated every single fucking thing that I wrote, and I just couldn't make stuff. And that was it was a learning process to overcome that kind of imposter syndrome and like toxicity and stuff. It definitely takes time. It definitely takes time, but yeah, like you have to be okay. I think for me, I came to a realization where I had to be okay with the idea that not every single thing I write or make is going to be my best work. And that's okay.
Totally.
Because making stuff, I mean, like, I'm sure anybody that makes videos and has looked for advice has heard this, but like, so like, but I want to drive the importance of it because it really is important. But making stuff and failing is 100 times better than not making anything and like being hesitant and like trying to make the perfect video right off the bat. It's just not gonna happen. Like, I mean, and you heard it from me, you heard it from Rob. Rob's been making stuff for fucking years now, and there was a point where there's stuff that him and I both look back on and we're like, oh, it's terrible. But that's the learning process.
You need to make bad stuff before you make good stuff.
For sure. I'm in a really nice position, I think, for myself, because I wanted to start fresh, so I didn't feel like I had the baggage of stuff that I made previously, and that just like helped so much because now I can look back and be like, okay, anything that I make now has had years to become what it is, because I've learned so much about writing. I've learned so much about audio, so much about editing. It just makes everything so much better. So I feel like I'm giving people my best effort instead of having them go back and look at stuff I made 5 years ago and being like, wait, this is like what the channel's about. Like I want like, there's like a level of quality that I'm trying to like portray. So,
I remember like I was at a boot camp or whatever ages ago, and this talk stuck out to me because it said this one line that was "done is better than perfect," and that resonated with me and challenged me because I was like, everything I have to make must be perfect, which I think there's good stuff in that perspective, but it's like it can be quite dangerous because not everything you make will be perfect. You'll make stuff that isn't as good, but you will get better, you know. They use this graph of diminishing returns, which is like a gradual like line that flattens out, and it's like time versus improvement, and gradually you get to a point where it's like time is making such an incremental change to the quality. It's like just fucking like at some point it's best to just like move on from it and be done with it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
especially with YouTube, man, because YouTube favors the consistency. It favors the like watch time and all that. So it's like, you know, sometimes it's better to just put stuff out and let it speak for itself, and then get better on the next video if you need to. God, we're getting more questions. I know I said that was gonna be the last question, but dude, if you got the time, Like I'd
No,
love
dude,
to
I
take.
got time. I love this stuff. I'm happy to go as long
Yeah,
as we need. I like. Oh, we got Evan's question here.
yeah,
How do y'all manage expectations going into publishing a video? Obviously, it's disappointing when a video doesn't perform well, but do you try to set any sort of specific mindset beforehand? That's a good question. This is something I still struggle with today, eh? Like,
yeah. Same.
I've had over the past like 2 years a lot of videos that have underperformed from my expectations, and I kind of had to learn like I've failed a lot, and also having videos underperform, especially stuff you pour your life and soul into, get like less than half of your or less than like a third of your subscriber count or whatever. It's
Hmm.
like it's sobering, but it's also like it teaches you also not to attribute everything to numbers, right?
Yeah,
Like so yeah,
I
like
definitely have
like
an opinion on this. Yeah.
mm,
Um,
yeah, like
I don't want to
like
cut you off if you had more to say
oh
there.
yeah, I'd just say like yeah, I've it's this is something I'm still struggling with a great deal because I don't think that anxiety or that pressure or like oh what if this doesn't do well like will ever go away, especially with YouTube. But like
Hmm.
don't worry about the numbers so much, just focus on the craft, and I think that's after a while numbers will come to that,
Hmm.
especially because numbers are so fucking shit because it's just like a it's like there's people. It's like don't look at it as numbers. Like okay, less than so many people watch this, but like the comments are nice because it's like oh I love this video and such. It's like it's not just looking at like figures or analytics and such
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Okay, here's a very specific. I have a very specific take on this, and because it's something that I've gone through. And back on my old channel, I had a video blow up, got like 100,000 views, got a bunch of subs off of that, and for most people, subscriber numbers, that is like the metric that a lot of people look at when it comes to success. And
Mm.
I want everybody to know that subscribers don't mean shit. Full
Yeah, they
stop.
really don't.
And the reason I say that is because when you're starting out and you get a video that blows up like I did, for me, it was a Metroid video. I'm not even a big Metroid guy.
Yo, let's go, Mitch.
I've played 2 Metroid games, and I had a Metroid video blow up, and so a bunch of people subscribed to me off of that. And
You know, you'd have more subs if you played more than 2 Metroid games.
yeah, I mean, I'd get more views.
kidding.
No, no,
I'm kidding.
but for real though, you're not wrong, because if I had made more Metroid videos, that's what those people were interested in watching. They weren't really interested in watching me talk about indie games or fucking Xbox games and shit. Like, they came for a very specific purpose. So subs, like, if you're not performing to your expectation based on how many subs you have, it doesn't mean anything. And so like sometimes a video is going to do well and sometimes it's not, and you can't look at that as a metric for the quality of your video, because that's just how YouTube works. Like it's very fickle. No, at any given point, nobody really knows exactly how the algorithm is working, what people are interested in. The only thing you can do is observe trends over time. So if one video flops, it happens. But I think if you try to, like, if you're getting hung up on that, and you're looking for success, one thing that you may need to do is see if there's a trend. Like, am I making a certain type of video that's underperforming and it's not performing to my expectations? Maybe it's time to change things up. Maybe it's time to do something else, or tweak it in a way where, like, shit can perform better. Like, just, I mean, for your own sake, if that's what you're looking for. I'm also a big proponent of doing whatever the fuck you want and making, like, what speaks to you. And if it blows up, it blows up. And that's just the way it goes. But that's something I really struggled with as far as, like, turnover rate for subscribers not watching my videos. So, like, the thing to really understand is that your videos are constantly being recommended to new people if they're hitting the algorithm. So it's it's normal to have 50 to 70% of your subscribers not watch a video that you put out, even if you only put out a video once every, like, month or two. Like, it's normal. So
Totally, yeah. I think it's like you said, not getting hung up on the numbers, right? But
mhm,
it's also there's a lot of YouTubers who are like, oh, I don't look at analytics. I think they can be intimidating because a lot of people don't understand them. But there's a lot of value in them as long as you don't, put them in a place beyond their actual value because
mhm,
there's people who like just only focus on the numbers or like my value is attributed to like how many views I get. No, that's fucking true.
mhm.
It's a tool. It's like just analytics or views are a tool that you can use to improve your craft and get better.
Yeah.
Like something see you, Perry. Thanks for hanging out, dude.
Yep. Later,
Um,
Perry.
I like would look at analytics and be like, okay, so when I do this kind of intro, a lot of people fall off the video much earlier. So I'm like, okay, maybe I could adjust that a bit more to be a bit better, or like people resonate with this kind of content more than this or whatever. So like that's something to consider. But
Mhm.
it shouldn't it's a tool and it shouldn't like rule over you. It's like it's a tool
Yeah.
at your disposal, It can be addicting, very
Yeah.
addicting. Yeah. I'm trying to break away from the like hyper monitoring the video when it comes out and just kind of like letting it go
It's
after
something we all
doing all the
do. We
stuff.
we all do
Yeah.
that, man. It's so hard not to, but as long as you just like don't let it affect you negatively, like sometimes there's different ways of handling it, like just trying to walk away from the computer for the day after you've uploaded a video,
Mm.
I think helps, but also like you got to set the expectation like going forward. Like for me, when I made my Overwatch video, I was in a very unique position because I've been gifted an audience from a shout out from Raz.
Mm.
So I
Fuck yeah. Shout
knew
out to
going in.
Raz.
Yeah, shout out to Raz. He fucking has
Oh,
given me
yeah.
something I've never had, which is it's really incredible. So I knew though going in that my new video and not all my subscribers are gonna watch it, and I knew that people subscribed to my channel not understanding what was coming, what kind of content was on the horizon, and when I put out my video, I had a shit ton of people unsubscribe from me, and I'm like, that's a good thing. It's actually
Totally.
good. It's actually good to have people unsubscribe to you when they're no longer interested in your videos, because then you don't have dead subs, you don't have dead numbers, and there's all
and a
things
more accurate reflection of your audience. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And that's the thing. Like when you have like 2,000 subscribers and you get like 100 views on a video, it's like, damn, why did these people even sub? Like that's a thought that crosses
Yeah.
your mind, but it's just a natural thing that happens. So
Totally. And that's something I struggle with still. Like, but it's not. You don't. Those numbers don't actually mean as much as like we attribute the value to them.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Raz brings up a good point in the Twitch chat saying it also means those who watch and stay subbed are more loyal viewers, and that's super important because and especially when you're looking for monetary support as a form of measuring your success. That's maybe a touchy subject, but for me, I think it's like I'd rather have a smaller, more dedicated viewer base than one that is extremely fickle and I am just beholden to. Like I have to
Totally, yeah.
cater to them all the time. Like I think that's something people don't really talk about as much.
Totally, yeah. Oh yeah, it's like having a loyal audience is the most valuable thing you can have as a creator, I think. People who stick with you. Like there are some channels like Brian David Gilbert, who's one of my favorites, where he just makes just the most random stuff. It changes video to video, but he has a consistent turnover in terms of like views to subs and such. And it's like it's amazing because a lot of those viewers are there for like I don't care what he uploads, I'm gonna watch it, and that's the thing you want. Like
That's what
there's
you
a
want for
few,
sure.
yeah, there's a group of channels which I'm like that for. Like one of my favorite channels, half their videos are on games I've never played, but I'm still gonna watch them, even though they're an hour long, because I'm like, yo, I enjoy this stuff. I'm here for
Yeah.
there's a loyal, yeah, totally.
All right, let's take this last question. This is gonna be the last question, and then we'll end it there. So, my boy Luke Prince Flannel says, "Are people are people here post it when it's done type of people, or do you all feel as if there's a strategic way to release content that you make? Like, do people go about that? Okay, I think I understand. I guess I'll start. I've just post it when it's done, pretty much. I think like the only thing that I really look towards is like, and it doesn't really matter as much maybe because people are probably I mean, I guess as an English speaker, it probably makes the most sense to release during a time where English speakers are going to be awake and able to see the video. So I try to release in my own time zone at a relevant time. So like, I don't care about the day of the week. If it's done on a day, then I'll plan to release it the next day, and I'll release it in like at like midday, or like between like midday and like 3 o'clock. Pretty much is when I try to do that. But there is definitely a level of like preparation you can do. I have never been like that kind of person. So, what do you think about that?
Nah, I think it goes back to the like point of diminishing returns, where it's like there's a lot you can do which is valuable, but there's a lot you can do which isn't valuable. It's just like you're getting really specific and such. Like I'm kind of the same thing. I posted a specific time which is good for like the American audience, which is like mid-afternoon mid-afternoon for Americans, so it's like hopefully like they see it in the evening and such. But like no, I post it when it's done and just schedule it for that time. And like my patrons get it a day early. That's the only real hesitation I have when posting it, really. Yeah, then I just post it and get some people to help me promote it on Reddit and do all the Twitter stuff. But like,
yeah, Reddit is just like another thing where, I mean, I made a thread on it, but that's probably something that I'll end up talking about eventually on this. But that's a whole beast of its own. But yeah,
I have a love-hate relationship with Reddit, dude. Yeah, it's so fucking
same, dude. Reddit is just it's terrible, but it's also the kind of thing that can just like make someone's career overnight. It's crazy.
Yeah. The reason my most popular video is so popular is because it's Reddit. It was posted on Reddit a lot, and then the algorithm picked it up once it got quite a few views. And like, the person who posted it is a good friend of mine now, because that's actually how I met him. I messaged him like, yo, thanks for sharing, and because he commented on the video, and then it's like, yo, we're just good friends now. That's awesome.
That is very wholesome. That's awesome.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll do it for this discussion. This is really fucking cool, and I think it went way better than I was expecting. So, if you liked this, guys, let me know. I'm gonna post this on YouTube on my second channel, the Wizzy channel. It's like my stream kind of highlights channel. I haven't done a whole lot with it yet, but I definitely want to do more stuff with it in the future. But yeah, this is really cool. I am really glad that I invited you, Rob, because like I've wanted to talk to you. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this kind of stuff for a bit, because I mean, we've kind of just known each other like tangentially for a bit.
Yeah.
The thing that's really cool about this, I'm really excited to get some friends on that I am close with and go into some deep dives on stuff. But I'm also really excited to meet some new people. I had a lot of people that showed interest that I'm not particularly close with, that I think would be really fun to get some people on.
You'll learn a lot from them.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Nah, thanks for having me. And I think the variety will be good, because I'm sure you'll have some very successful creators on this podcast. One in particular I'm sure of, but I'm definitely someone who's like failed quite a bit, but like that's something I kind of embrace because I've learned a lot from that. And like I haven't had monumental success, but it's like, something I'm still working towards.
Yeah.
And just improving. So I hope there was some seeds of wisdom in there that people could take away, or I feel at the very least being an entertaining discussion.
Yeah, no, it was great. Thanks for being here. Yeah. If you guys like this, you can subscribe on YouTube, like, comment, all that bullshit. If you're on Twitch, and you're new here, feel free to follow the channel. Don't stream like all the time, but I'm always like trying to figure out new ideas for streaming. Do a lot of speedrunning stuff. Want to do a lot more of this. Trying to find interesting content ideas. So if you liked it, follow the channel, and we'll be back perhaps next week with another interview. So yeah, thanks for being here, everybody.
Let's go.
Yeah, and we'll get a fucking round of applause for Rob for joining me. Some claps in the chat, please.
Yeah, claps in the chat. I'll just quickly. I did drop a video.
Oh
yesterday.
yeah, I literally just pulled it up. Yeah, I'm sorry. I literally had pulled it up with the intention of bringing it up. Yeah, so Rob just put out a new video yesterday, the level design in the Great Decker Tree. I'll link it in chat here. I literally had it fucking pulled up. I almost forgot. Thank you for saying that. But yeah, great video. Super edited by Joystick Drummer. Like, dude, that like, okay, the content is really good. Like going into like a more deeper. I've seen people do videos about the Great Decker Tree because it's an iconic level, but haven't seen people go into as much detail with it as you did with your video, and it was really cool. And the editing with Rob's vision and JD's edits, it came out really fucking good. It's a really awesome video. So y'all should check it out.
Dude. If anyone checks it out, that'd be greatly appreciated. I'm very happy with that. And also Jay did a fucking amazing job with it. It's always cool working with him because his style is so different to mine, but like he does some really creative things that I would have never thought of, and I'm like, that's why you're here, dude. You fucking shout out to Joystick, what a legend.
Shout outs, check out Joystick Drummer on YouTube, making really good stuff for sure. I'm excited to see more stuff from him for sure. But yeah.
Well, thanks so much, man. Thanks for the interview.
Yep. Thanks for joining me again. And again, everybody in chat or wherever you're watching this, thanks for being here. We'll be back soon. I'll let you know when I got the next guest lined up. But yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. Really appreciate it. And we'll be back next time with some more good interviews. Appreciate it.
Let's go.
Yep.